Welcome to Let's Talk About It. A podcast gets a platform for real talk, real people, real topics, real conversations. Enjoy the show and enjoy this journey.
What is you guys' opinion? Now you're married, this and that. What are like the outside? What are you guys' opinion about this new terminology now, situationships, where people they want everything a married couple have, relationship have, but they leave the door open. Like, what's your opinion about it?
Ain't no leaving the door open.
Nah.
I mean, everybody to each their own. You know, they want to be together and have a committed relationship without actually signing papers. Then that's them. But for us, we enjoy the fact that we have the same last name in the house. You even have people that are married that they choose to not have the same last name, and to each their own. I think that's their opinion. That's what they want, and that's fine. But we enjoy having a committed relationship. Leaving the door open, that's not us. That's just not something that we are interested in doing.
It's so popular nowadays. A lot of people are doing shit. It's like
yeah.
No,
I don't understand how a relationship can thrive knowing the door is still open. That's not saying you got to sign a paper to have the door open, because there are people that have not signed papers that have committed relationships, and they are committed to each other without having that piece of paper, and that's fine. But the commitment is what's important.
No doubt.
I agree. My thing is, what people do, as long as you're on the same page as far as the growth of the relationship. So say you got one of those situations, you're married, but you like to, do extra things. Well, you know what? That works for you. Okay. Yeah. I can't tell you not to do what you guys like to do. You want to go out and swing? Go swing all you want, as long as you guys want to swing together. But once one person wants to do something, the other one doesn't, then you got a problem. Yeah. So my thing is, no matter what the relationship is, you just have to have an understanding moving forward. So yeah, technically we're married, but a piece of paper is not going to keep her from doing whatever she wants to do, or me from doing what I want to do. It's just, we want to do it together.
Exactly.
Right.
So my thing is, whatever people want to call it, situations, or they want to have friends with benefits or whatever, if that works for you moving forward, then you know what, so be it. Just be honest with the person that you with moving forward.
Right.
That's all. That's just how I look at it.
Yeah, we're not very judgmental when it comes to that.
Yeah, not at all, man. My thing is, do you and be happy. Mm-hmm. Your lifestyle and your happiness has nothing to do with me. It's just when you try to impose your will, what you think is right on me, then I got a problem. Because I'm like, yo, that worked for you. That don't work for me and mine. Right. Let me and mine do what we do. And what I'm saying, we're happy. We're moving forward. That's just like me saying, you need to live with somebody and you need to do this before you get married. Okay, well, some people might say, well, yeah, I agree. Then some people might look at it from a biblical standpoint. Well, we shouldn't be living in sin. You know what? I can't tell you not to believe that. My thing is, okay, well, when you go into marriages with all those unknowns, there's a very high probability that your marriage is going to fail. Yeah, y'all don't know each other's intimacy. Y'all don't know what it's like to wake up next to somebody, her breath off. You know what I'm saying? Or he like to leave his drawers on a chair. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, I didn't know all this before we got married. Well, if y'all had lived together, you'd have known that. But that's me. So my thing is, as long as whatever works for you in your marriage or in your relationship,
your situation,
do you. Forget what everybody else thinks.
Don, you just set me up to what probably the last question I got for you guys in the marriage part. How you guys both discuss the little things. Like example, leaving the seat up, clothes left on the floor, on the dryer, or what I've heard a lot, what do you want to eat? Like, how do you guys navigate that? Because I've been married twice. I still don't figure. I never figured it out. Maybe you guys can like guide me. Maybe if I ever get married again.
So I think that it really boils down to how you communicate that with your spouse, how you talk to them and tell them your dislikes about a certain situation. So for instance, I like to make it into kind of like a serious joke. So when he knows I have my tendencies of being OCD. So when he leaves for work, he always forgets to turn his closet light off. So, you know, when he's leaving for work, I'll go, honey, your closet's glowing again. Yeah. It's glowing again.
See, I mean, because I used to do the same damn thing back in the day with my first marriage. I am not going to lie to you, but go ahead.
So when I say that, you know, he turns around, he'll go turn the light off. I'm not going to turn it off for you. You're going to come back and you're going to turn it off yourself. I don't care if I'm standing right there. Yeah. You're going to come and turn your light off. So, you know, so that's the little things, you know, as far as like toilet paper, you know, and maybe leaving a little swallow of orange juice, you know, I'll make it into a joke. I'll go, okay, there's a swallow of orange juice left in the refrigerator. What purpose is it serving? You know,
I'm gonna come drink that a little bit later. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, all right, listen. Yeah. I'm going to end it there because this is going.
Well, you know what? Let me give you something else on that too, Lou.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
As far as addressing things, there's two ways to that. You know, I believe being direct, which works for me, letting me know where I'm flawed at, but also being acceptant of the criticism or the critiques that are coming my way. A lot of people don't respond very well to constructive criticism. That's just human behavior.
Yes.
So you have to be able to go into this being like, listen, she's holding me accountable. She's not treating me like a child. She's not doing this, that, and other. I screwed up. I left the toilet seat, or I left my light on, or I spent too much money. Now we getting interest at the end of the month. I got it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I heard. You know what I'm saying? But my point is, you have to be willing enough to go, you know what? I can't come back at her combative because she's coming to me. She's coming to me as a woman, letting me know you screwed up X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. This is what I did. So she has to be able to point it out to me. She can't be wishy-washy about it because I'm like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. This is what's going on. I'm like, okay, I see that. I see what I did. This is what I think, whatever. And we move forward. You know, that's a huge part, I think, of growth. And like I said, when you're able, it's no different than being at your job and your boss is coming at you on something. You might not like it. Okay, you take it, you learn from it, you move on, or you pull them to the side and be like, you know what, why you chew me out in front of all these people? Or, it's part of being grown. You know, gotcha. you accept it, man, and that's how we deal with it. You know,
I love it, bro. All right, so let's get down to this house divided shit. You know, Donnie, you are a Dusty ring, haven't been to MC Championship in like 80 years. See, you are Eagles fan, you know what I mean? And like, you know, how do you guys coexist when it comes to football season? Like when y'all guys play each other, like I know y'all go at it, but do you guys, let's say if one person loses, the other person makes fun of them the whole week or whatever. Explain this dynamic to me. I want to know.
So it's kind of fun. You got to make it fun. We don't go at each other seriously. We definitely keep it fun, but on a real note. It's like real but fun. Mm-hmm. You know, even for his birthday, what was that? Your 50th birthday. Yeah. Everybody has this milestone 50th birthday. They do something, you know, that they never done before or want to do something, a big party or whatever. But what he wanted to do, and it was on his bucket list, and I cringed, is he wanted to visit Dallas Stadium.
That's right.
I saw that.
He wanted to visit it during a Dallas game. Yeah. So what did I have to do as a supportive spouse? I have to gulp and swallow. And I said, you know what? we're going to do this. We're going to do this a different way. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do your bucket list item, but they got to be playing the Eagles if we go. It may not be your birthday, but in order for us to do this for your 50th year, we need to go when they play the Eagles. Yeah. And so he agreed to that. So we went in December for the December game. That, my God, my Eagles just anyway.
Remember that little, it was like 33-3. We just stopped.
Go ahead.
Anyway. Go ahead. You know, so during these, they play each other twice a season. So it's always fun during the time when Dallas and the Eagles play each other because we just kind of go at each other. We'll make little bets with each other, do little maybe like pillow talk type bets, and then maybe something we might do. In front of everybody, we might say, you'll have to wear my Eagle shirt or something. He actually did that. Oh yeah. I told him if he lost the game, it was 2022. I remember I told him if he lost to the Cowboys, if we lost, then I would wear his shirt. And if he lost, he had to wear mine. And so Dallas lost. And so he had to wear my shirt.
I would never make that bet because I don't care what happens. I would never put that damn jersey on.
But you know what was funny when you kind of build it up because, we're both from Philly. Me, West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Me too.
The playground is where I spend most of my days.
Because I don't want to hear that song anymore. I hear it all the time.
It's so silly.
But yeah, I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you this. Every time I hear that song, I cringe. There people say to me, "Yo, where you from?" I'm from Philly. Like where? West Philly. Like where? On Gerard Avenue. They start singing that fucking song. Man, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
But no, it's funny. We're a house divided in football, but because that's the only team in Philadelphia he don't like. But he loves the Sixers. I love the Sixers. Even the Flyers. Like the Flyers and the Phillies. So. The football team is the only team he don't like. Now we even have the same state, college game. We both like the Georgia Bulldogs. So it's we are only a house divided with NFL football. But it makes it fun. It just makes it fun, and we do little skits and stupid stuff during football season on TikTok. Just to show everybody that. How much fun we have, but at the same time, I love making fun of him and his stupid cow turns, So.
Those 5 rings, baby.
Donnie, listen.
The same age as our relationship, right? 27-something years.
Donnie, I gotta ask you a question, man.
What's up, man?
Because you remind me of another Dallas fraud fan. His name is Spence Jackson. He worked with us at Coca-Cola too. Mm-hmm. And he likes every Philly team out there. And coincidentally, he's a Georgia Bulldogs fan as well, which is crazy.
There you go.
Likes every team but the Eagles. So explain to me exactly why do you like every team but not the football team? And don't make it to a whole theatric shit. Just get right to the point.
Okay, so long story short, I haven't been a Cowboys fan that long as maybe, somebody was, I was a Cowboys fan since I was a little kid. No. When I was younger, I didn't really have a favorite team. I was kind of all over the place. And, but it wasn't until a young, brash wide receiver from San Francisco by the name of Terrell Owens took his,
on the star,
all that to Philadelphia in 2004. And I said, man, I didn't really follow him in San Fran, but I was like, man, he went to Philly, and I'm like, and I see McNabb and T.O. and T.O. just played the villain. I just like that dude. And then he left in 2005 and went to the Cowboys. And I was like, man, I just like this guy, man. I just like his swag. He went over there to the Cowboys, and as I watched him play, I just watched the team and was just like, yo, I kind of dig these dudes, you know, Romo and
Oh.
Witten and Marion the Barbarian.
Oh,
and, you know,
my
then T.O. left, but I just kind of stuck with it. I was like, yo, I like these dudes. And I was just like, man, look at all the hate that they get. I like this.
He is a big villain fan. You know, his man cave, we have a man cave in here. The man cave has all the villains all over the wall. The only hero he likes is the Flash.
I got Megatron, you know what I'm saying?
I do like Megatron, I ain't gonna lie.
I got all the bad guys. I just like that. Darth Vader, you know what I'm saying? All the horror dudes.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
This guy, you know, I can't, T, I'm sorry, I can't talk to more about these Cowboys. I'm sorry. We gonna move on. T, tell me about your nonprofit organization. I know you were the founder of it. I know Donnie is involved with it as well. Explain to everybody where you came up with this and what is it about.
So, when I would say probably about 5 years ago, maybe 6, 7, I used to get a lot of young kids kind of ask me to explain certain things that go on in life. I would always explain them to my stepkids and also my daughter, how to handle finances, how to budget, stock market, so forth. And my daughter would always say, "Hey, I got a friend, so and so. She wants you to teach him how to do X, Y, and Z." And I'll go, "Okay, you know, just send them on over. You know, we can go ahead and talk about it." Or she would come and ask me questions. "Hey, I got a friend of mine that's asking me how to do so and so. Can you show him how to do a budget or what have you?" So I'm like, "Okay, sure." So I realized that this was happening a lot. It was happening quite often. And I said, you know, it would be good to have something where young people can just kind of go to and find the answers to just everyday situations that normal people generally don't have a whole lot of knowledge on. Mm-hmm. And the good thing about it is I've got such a vast amount of work experience throughout my life. I just kind of dipped and dabbed in a whole lot of stuff that I can actually teach people a lot of different things. And I never really initially wanted to do that because it takes up a lot of time. But then I realized people were asking me to mentor them, and they were asking me questions on how to succeed in certain things. And I said, you know what? Maybe I need to do something more with this. I thought about being a life coach, thought about different things. And I said, you know what? I think this needs to be free. We need young adults to be able to have a platform to go to just pull up information when certain situations arise, where they can just kind of look in there and get some information, at least just the foundation of it, to help them explore and research more about whatever it is that they need. Such as some of the things that we do there, you know, budgeting and banking. I teach people how to budget their money, how to create a budget, you know, what's important to make sure you have on that budget. My dad's he has a master's in finance, and I interviewed him, and he gave some good tips about that. And then we also talk about credit reporting, what that's about, how to maintain good credit, how to get bad stuff off your credit report, what causes certain things to happen on your credit report. So I dive deep into that. I also interviewed a manager of credit disputes. So we go into those situations. I talk about the stock market, kind of give the basics on how to invest and what to look for, different tactics, different fundamentals to look for in order to pick stocks and so forth. We talk about cryptocurrency, what that's all about, what that means, different things like that. And some of the most popular seminar that I have, that I actually mentor people on, is the resume building and interview best practices. I do a lot of mentoring with that because so many people don't know how to interview. Yes. They don't know what to expect. They get nervous. They can't answer the questions because they clam up. They're not comfortable. And as far as interview writing, what do you put on that resume to really get your foot in the door without putting cliche items on there that just they toss to the side? So I talk about that. I talk about how to interview and how to actually approach these things in a way to where you can feel like you're actually going to be successful at it. So that's the most important. That's the most important and also popular one. And also we also go into self-employment. I talk about how you can different things about creating a business and what are the things that you need to do. I also interview somebody who's been self-employed for over 25 years, and she's great. You know, I got her interview on there as well. And then we talk about fraud. This is the biggest, one of the biggest problems right now is people being succumbed to different fraudulent activities and phishing and vishing and smishing. These things are really what's taken down a lot of people. Because you get caught up in these scams and you don't know that they're scams because the fraud actors are so clever. So I have a big seminar about that. I interviewed a fraud investigator to talk about that. I also interviewed IRS people, IRS processors and investigators, and to kind of let people know when you're doing your taxes, the things you should be doing, shouldn't be doing. So we go into that. So these are just the everyday, daily things that adults experience that most people don't know a whole lot about. And I have a lot of knowledge in these things, you know, how to do your taxes, how to apply for financial aid, you know, what's, you know, different skills and things like that you should have. So it goes into all those fundamentals and also how to purchase a house. The one big background I have is in real estate, and it's not the realtor side of it, it's the underwriting side of it. So I know what lenders are looking for when they look at your mortgage application. So I'm like, I have all this knowledge. I need to give it to people for free. I don't need to have them pay for it. So I have these seminars. I talk about how the things you need to do when you're buying a house, and you know what you need to prepare for, and what could cause you not to get that house, what could cause you to be denied, and so forth. And these are things that most people don't really get it. They depend on somebody else to tell them, and most of the time it's a realtor, and a lot of times the realtor don't know the underwriting part of it. You get some that may, but most of them don't know the intricate underwriting details on why certain things happen the way they happen. So I developed the nonprofit to give that knowledge and understanding to young people. And surprisingly, it wasn't just the young people that was coming. It was a lot of the older folks that were like, you know what, I could use some of this. And so we have a lot more people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, even up to their 70s that actually partake and listen to those seminars and get a lot out of them because they just want that same knowledge as well. So that's really why it was created. It's a foundation to help young people just survive through the everyday situations in life that they're going to deal with financially and so forth. But it also helps older adults too. So
I'll tell you, when this comes out, I'm putting your link on this. Right, we will promote it, let people know what's going on. Thank you so much for explaining that. Donnie, I got a question for you. I asked you earlier. You said you're going to think about it, and now I'm going to kind of like rephrase. Now, you're a former military man. In your opinion today, how you think veterans now are treated in the world after they get, released or leave the military?
Knowing what I know now, I would say most veterans are cheated. Cheated in a lot of ways. When you go in, you're expected to do a job, you get paid for it. And there's a lot of benefits that veterans are entitled to that they don't realize, when they get out. One of the things that I wasn't exposed to is, as far as disability, the pay rates and so forth that I was entitled to, but I was discouraged from seeking medical attention when I was in. As a veteran, my thing is the Marine Corps did way more for me than I could have ever did for it. But you also see a lot of people out here who are homeless and are struggling, and they don't have the resources that they need in order to move forward and become productive citizens. You know, unfortunately, you know, where the government is, everything kind of moves a step behind. And personally, I think we're doing our veterans a disservice, especially for what we asked them to do. You know, whether or not they were home in garrison or they were out, you know, on the front line, doesn't matter. You put that uniform on to serve your country, you know. And my thing is, do I think there's some room for process improvement? Absolutely. But I would never take my experience and trade it for anything. I think that, you know, when I was 18 and I went in, that was the best decision that I could have made for me as a young man who was indecisive about life. So those skills that I learned, I still carry over to this day. So do I think there's, you know, things should change and we should have, you know, more, you know, progressions? Yes. And I see slow and steady things happening, but it's slow, you know. So my thing is, I salute to anyone who's put that uniform on. God bless you, you know, and we're paving the way for, you know, the future generations. But, you know, we're kind of shortchanged, man. But my thing is, like I said, you don't do it for, you know, people to be like, oh, well, you got nah, you know, I went in for the reason I went in for it, and I'm glad that I had that time that I was able to, you know, put in and be like, you know, I serve my country. So,
you know, one thing we have in business is called onboarding and offboarding. Onboarding, of course, you onboarded a new employee. Offboarding is when you take certain steps to either terminate the employee or that employee moves to another area. You do certain things to offboard them. I think the process improvement, of course, being on a team of process improvement, just looking at that, it would be nice to have something similar to my nonprofit to help guide these veterans that come out in such a way to where you're offboarding them, checking boxes, letting them know, okay, this is some resources here. You can do this. Make sure you have your medical records to go ahead and talk about your disability or whatever it is that you need to do. Because a lot of them, that disability is a big one. They don't really talk a whole lot about that. But there's not enough checklists and not enough resources for the veterans, you know, when they're getting out in order for them to be successful. And I think that that's a good process improvement that can really help our veterans when they come out, you know, just navigate through that challenge of life. So, yeah,
you know, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, man, you know, I think about some of the things that I experienced that if I would have talked to somebody and got it documented, it'll be like, oh, okay, well, you know, this is what you qualify for. But being a Marine, the thing was you get out there, you suck it up. So a lot of injuries and so forth, I never reported because my thing was I didn't want to be looked at a certain way. And a lot of people, you know, find themselves in that situation. It's just a few that, you know, might have somebody that's like, listen, anything that you have going on, get it documented. Because you never know. This may come back later on down the line. And as long as it's documented, they will compensate you for that. So I was in war. I was over in Somalia, you know, but I never went to go see anybody about any sort of PTSD or anything like that. So if you don't report it, you know, it's kind of like, well, never happened. So I'm like, okay.
This is so, guys, you just gave me one of the best conversations I've recorded in a long, long time. This whole weekend has been so good. I'm telling you. We go end it on this note here, but before I go, we go play our little marriage game I guys told you about. We talked about everything from marriage to your Cowboys, your Eagles, a great nonprofit organization, and also Veterans Today, which this is amazing. Now, let's get down to it. These are just 10 little things I have right here. This is the first married game. Now, this question is for both of you. Describe your spouse in one word.
One word. Let's see.
Right?
Yeah, that word. Okay. Oh gosh. I'm just going to say. What's the word for it? What you got for me?
Got y'all thinking.
One word.
Just one word.
Yep, one word.
Security.
That's good for me. That's good.
That's my word
good.
for him.
That's
Security.
Good.
Okay.
I want to say. Wow, Lou, that's the first word. First question. She's security is a good word in a lot of ways.
You want the same word? You want the same word?
I'm going to leave it as security right now as I'm processing it. I may come back and change it after we get through the questions. But security,
he's my
rock. Right. He's my rock.
Right. She's my security blanket in a lot of factors, man. And
I got you, brother.
You know, so
what's your spouse's favorite food?
I should know this.
Oh man, for him, chocolate chip cookies or oatmeal raisin cookies. Oatmeal raisin cookies. Oatmeal raisin cookies.
For her, say something like arugula.
That is not my favorite. Arugula. It's not my
like shrimp, food. You know what I'm saying? She like green leafy stuff, you know.
I like collard greens.
She like collard, you know. She's very disciplined when it comes to preparing meals. So
okay,
you know,
I got you.
She's very health conscious, but she like shrimp.
Shrimp, got you. Who's the bigger baby when sick?
Who's the biggest who?
Bigger baby when sick.
Oh, that's me. I get real petty when I'm sick.
Real petty?
I'm petty because I'm sick. Everybody going on sick. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be, you know what I'm saying? I want to be nurtured. That's just how I am.
I got you.
You know?
So who is the first to say I'm sorry?
You know what? It may be me. Because I'm just that dude.
Dude, I love you, man. I do.
Oh, man. You too.
Okay. This is for both of you.
Yeah.
If you both wrote a book about each other, what would be that title?
Oh, go get it.
Okay.
What would be that title?
So, The Everlasting Love of Johnny and Tedra Driggins.
Oh, here we go.
Yep.
Stack that up real nice.
Yeah. That'd be the title.
Okay, well, that's the title. I love it. Oh, I love that. When's that book coming out?
That is actually our wedding album, but that's what we're going to name the book.
So let's get started and then come back on. We're going to promote the hell out of it.
Appreciate it.
All right, here we go, guys. Who is more likely to surprise the other by bringing home a gift?
Probably you.
You know what?
Because you do a lot of that.
You're like better at that type of stuff than I am. Surprising, that would be me. You know.
No, really?
You be ordering stuff online. It comes to the house, and I'm like, "What is that?"
She like, "What did he order?" I'm like, "Yeah." You know, I like to be back and looking at her face. And
I love this. Yeah, I love you guys so much. It's crazy. All right, who is most likely to tell the? No shit. You know what? All right, who was most likely to have the funniest relationship story?
Probably her.
Yeah.
Only because she's just when she tells stories, she just kind of builds it up in a way where it's like
drama.
You know what I'm saying?
Drama.
We drama up in that thing. I'm like, dang, baby, for
And
real.
I'll make noises with it. I'll tell it, it's animated and stuff like that. I gotta drama it up and make it sound good to where you start laughing and
I love it.
I gotta do it like that.
All right. When you guys are both on the street, who is most likely to forget someone's name if you run into them?
That you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, Lou, because for years somebody could not remember my last name. So they was like, "Damn, what was his last name? Who was that dude?" you know what I'm saying? I said, "What? You couldn't remember me?"
I couldn't remember the last name Triggins. I remember Donnie, and I remembered that other last name, but I didn't remember Triggins.
I'm full disclosure. I'm bad with it too, man. I'm good with faces, but I'm like, damn. I'll be in the middle of a conversation, we talking. Where I know that dude from?
I think it's both of them.
Be like, I know that face. I can't remember the name.
I remember faces, but
absolutely,
names, yeah.
Like, all right, guys. Who is most likely to lose something in the house?
Lose something? Oh, that's him. That'd be him. You lose something in the house.
Okay.
Right. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
I like to backtrack. So if I lose something, I'm gonna find it. My wife, she loses something.
I'll blame it on you.
It'd be my fault. It'd be me.
Okay.
It'd be me.
Okay. Last one, guys. Who is most likely, if you're at a bar and karaoke comes up, who's the first person to get up there and sing?
Her.
Me.
Her.
Hey. This conversation, I figured it out.
I'm not about to make a fool out of myself. To get up there and don't care.
Guys, we're going to wrap this up, but I want you to have the last word. Give advice to people out there, maybe other couples or something like that, about your experiences, about what you're going through. Maybe they're about to get married or something like that from both of you. Like, make it kind of a little small, but give a good advice to couples out there.
Okay. For us, I think communication is definitely, I know it sounds cliche, but it is so important. Communication is so important, but not only just the communication, effective communication and knowing that person's love language. You have to know what their love language is to know what makes them tick, what makes them not tick, and what triggers them to anger and so forth. So that's really important. Also, it's equally important to laugh. Whenever you're down, depressed or whatever, we all get that way. It's important to know how to laugh and when to make the other one laugh. And I love doing that. And, also dates. We make it a point to make sure we date once a week. We go out on a date once a week, even if it's just taking a walk outside, down the street, or, just going to the beach, or just taking a walk downtown. But most of the time we like to try different restaurants around town and, just kind of get our palate taken care of. But that's important. I think effective communication, knowing each other's love language, laughing, definitely having laughter, and then dating. That I think those definitely are our top important ones, at least for me. What about you, babe?
I agree with everything she just said. As far as the advice I want to give, it really doesn't have anything to do with that per se, but something that I'm personally going through.
All right.
Being a man that's now, in my 50s, we as men, I believe, we just got to do a better job at making sure that we are healthy to be around for our loved ones. We got spouses, we got kids, we got grandkids. Illnesses are going to happen. My thing is, I try to, get my annuals done, get my blood work right, make sure everything is okay.
Love it.
I just, get my PSA done, get your colonoscopy done, fellas. I just found out, there's certain things that sometimes you might not even know that you're not getting tested for. So you don't know to ask for test.
Yeah.
One of the things I just found out, and I found out through a buddy of mine who's big into bodybuilding, and he's exercising. I am just like you, Lou, we trying to keep in shape for, a couple 50-year-old dudes.
Yeah.
He told me, get your blood work done and make sure everything is good if you want to pursue this. So I went to go get my testosterone looked at, which I never really thought about. I thought it was included with all the other blood work that I got done, and come to find out my testosterone is low. And I was like, well, if I wouldn't have got this test done, I wasn't showing any symptoms. My energy wasn't low. I still felt like I was putting on muscle.
Yeah.
My stroke was right. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So, but, my thing is, man, you just get checked out. Like I said, for us as males, prostate cancer is very common and it's very preventable. 100%. Unfortunately, I lost my grandfather at a young age at 61 to prostate cancer. And, if he would have got checked out, things might have turned out differently. So my thing is, man, don't be that dude that's like, well, I'm not going to go, when it's my time to go, it's just going to happen. Don't take that approach, man, because you got people that, are dependent on you. They're looking, for you for leadership, for love, like I said, for guidance. So my thing is, yeah, we all got an expiration date, but my thing is there's so many, forms of medications and procedures out here nowadays where you can kind of extend your life. Take advantage of that, man. Be around for your loved ones. So,
guys, you heard it. These two right here are the wedding cake couple. I'm calling them right now. What's up, a wedding cake? I'm telling you, you guys are the best. Seriously, I'm so glad you guys came on. I mean, how well you guys support each other, communicate with each other, mad respect to that. A lot of us can learn from that, and I hope people, when they watch this, they learn from you guys or take something from you guys. Okay, like you said, we're all not perfect, but you guys are perfect for each other, right? And that's great. The nonprofit organization, great. We go promote the hell out of that. Donnie, thank you so much for your message for the military and also for testosterone. I ain't gonna lie, your mines went down low too, but you know what I mean? So like getting blood work checked is key. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on today. I appreciate your time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here today on Let's Talk About It. We will see you next week.
Oh man, appreciate you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching the show. Please subscribe, click on the bio, support the show. Thank you so much again. We'll see you next week for another amazing episode on Let's Talk About It.